Hey guys, I'm going to combine two things this week. I'm going to combine your weekly update with a mini video. The mini video is a mounting tiny bugs video, and in it I'm going to explain why I love this so much and show you some really cool pictures that I've taken just in the last few days. The beauty of this is you never know what you're going to get. And I see things that just leave me slack-jawed and amazed every time I do it. And I am going to photograph whatever it is I mount for you today and show you the actual pictures of what we fish out and what we mount. The purpose of this video is to show you that photographing this stuff just takes learning a few tricks. It's not so much difficult as it is you have to want to do it. You have to go to the trouble to do it. You need to build a few tools and that kind of thing, but it's not difficult. It's difficult. It's pretty difficult. Do you like the honest way better? It's difficult. All right, let's get over that. Let's do some work. In this video, I'm going to show you the ins and outs of photographing the teeny tiniest of insects. And for that purpose, I have some fresh catch from just the other day. And what I'm going to do is show you a technique that may well be completely novel to you. Not only is it incredibly handy to have this technique, but it's very versatile. It can work for big or small things as well as the tiniest of tiny things. That probably doesn't make a lot of sense now, but it will in a minute. My favorite thing, or one of my favorite things to photograph are flies, dipterans, mainly because they're so unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get. Even within a species, you have variation. So I'm going to show you the technique, and I'll show you in close-up what each step looks like. Finding your subject is something that's best done under the microscope, but I'm going to grab just a representative tiny something with wings, and then I'm going to bring you in close and show you what I'm doing. Here's an ant. An ant's good. An ant's good. It's small. Certainly, it's bigger than a lot of what I photograph. Most of what I use this technique for, you really wouldn't be able to tell what it is. So here's our little guy. He's just a tiny little ant, a fire ant, I believe. I was doing some sweeping of the bushes and swept the ground a few times to see what terrestrials were wandering around. Now, the whole secret to this technique is for your insect to be fairly dry. Now, normally I do this under the microscope, but I'm going to show you that you actually don't need, yeah, you can see that, I think. You don't need a microscope to do this. It helps, definitely. What you do need is a paintbrush, and you need to sacrifice said paintbrush. I have jars of all different kinds of bristles. From these are from a finishing paintbrush. That's the kind that you after you've painted all the other layers, this is the top coat that doesn't leave brush marks. So this is a fairly fine bristle, but they get a lot finer than this. A lot of folks use hairs or eyelashes. Now, for the smallest hairs, I'll use the bristles of one of these brushes. This one's a little on the firm side. So I'll use just one of these bristles. But for this guy who's quite big, I'm just going to use this paintbrush bristle. I wish I hadn't thrown the brush away, because it would be helpful to show you the size. How about that? It's a 25.4 millimeter 1-inch paintbrush. And as you can see, this one has been used. I don't stand on ceremony. I don't care if it's been used or not. I want one bristle though. And the thing I like about it, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but this has a tendency for the ends of the bristle, I think these are synthetic, they will split. And I actually want that. When I put the glue on this, I want that glue to get in between the various fibers. It makes for a firmer hold. So you're going to need that, and you're going to need a pin. Now, this is the one time I will use a heavier pin, and you can even use a pin. I just like the black enamel. You could use a regular pin that has a bigger ball on it. Take a drop of glue and place super glue down the terminal centimeter of the pin, like that. That's all I did, was just drag it through a little bit of super glue. Then I take the end of the bristle that's gone bushy and I wipe it with the glue and then just hold it on the side. And as soon as you put it on there, let go of it and just let the capillary action of the glue hold the thing straight, and it always does, just like that. I'll take some close-up pictures so you can see what that looks like. But not only is this the perfect pinning tool for a tiny insect, and it is unobtrusive, it doesn't get in the way. It does with really, really, really small stuff. The stuff in this pot that just looks, well, you probably can't even see it. Yeah, that's not going to help. We'll look at it under the microscope. But once you've got this, all you need to do is touch the tip of the bristle in glue. I usually will actually do a wipe so that I have a blob of glue on the end. I get my ant positioned and I look at it, and this is the key. I don't really worry about where I'm going to pin him. I just touch the glue on there to get rid of most of it, and then touch it on the end of his limbs. And then flip the pin over like that and let gravity rest him on the bristle the way it's going to. In other words, his center of mass is going to fall down onto the bristle. Wait about 3-4 seconds and he's not going anywhere. He's now on there permanently. Now I go to the microscope and look and see what I've got and see how I can photograph it. If you try, and this is a big insect compared to a lot of the things in here. If you try to stick this bristle to 2 legs on each side, you may get it, but it's never going to look natural. This will look amazingly natural if you find the right position. So let's look at it under the microscope and see what it looks like. Okay, guys, here we are under the microscope, and this is our ant. You probably would like to see it focused a little bit. That's a beauty. Love the legs. All right, so what I like to do is under the microscope, I'll position the pin, I'll rotate it, and I'll look at it from all different angles. You can see that the fiber has stuck to the thorax, which is great. I mean, you can see, I hope, that the point of contact is minimal, and this ant looks like he's walking, just a very natural looking pose. This fiber is going to be easy to get out in post. I'm beginning to think the best way might be to actually photograph him head on. When in doubt, zoom out. Let's do this. Okay, that's better. All right, yes. See how it's stuck to the right side of its left side of its thorax. I'm sorry that's a little dark. Let me open up the aperture a bit. Yeah, this is going to be a no-brainer, having him walking straight towards. Let me try to focus it better. Okay, that's the head pointing at us. Look at that. We've got a leg reaching out. The front left appendage is reaching out as if taking a step, and the back one is lifted up where the pin hit it. Depending on what this looks like, I think positioning the ant facing the camera just like that is going to be ideal. All right, so another option would be from the right side, tip more at an angle like that. Yep, that would work too. And that hides the end of the pin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the head on. While I was doing that, in order to show you, I went ahead and I bent the pin about halfway down the shaft. You can see where that hair joins it. Like that. And there's our ant at the end. Now, the beauty of this, the best part of all, is I'll run in there, I'll photograph this guy, then I will, the second that photograph is finished, I will grab this pin and its little ball of blue tack, which I'm getting ready to put on. I'll grab the pin and I will run out here, and what I'll do is my next insect will be ready to wash and dry. And then all I do is I snip the end of the fiber off with scissors, and I have a completely fresh bristle to glue my next subject to. And that is where this becomes such an incredibly useful trick. So we can go from bug to bug to bug just by snipping off the business end and sticking on the next guy. And you see how I didn't waste all afternoon trying to figure out how to get him to pose this way? I just went with what he gave me. So let's get a photograph, see what it looks like. I don't know if you can hear my stack shot grinding away. I have it in whatchamacallit mode, precision mode. And I need to undo that because I was shooting at 3 microns earlier. That's better. Okay, so I've got the 5x Mitutoyo objective set up. I am doing exactly what I said and positioning this ant going straight. Now I have a lens hood on and I position my guy with the blue tack right at the dead center of the lens, about that far in front of my lens hood. That being upside down might make you a little nauseous. See, all I do is I pinch the blue tack around the pin and then position the bug right where I want it, and it will stay absolutely still in that position until I move it. So, as I should have done this before I walked in here with the bug, and I didn't, and that was not a good lesson to be teaching. But I've taken my diffusers off and put the regular diffusers on my MF12 so that you can see where I'm pointing the lights. I add my second layer of diffusion right across the lens like that and all the way down. So all the light has to go through that tent to get to my subject. I'll turn my camera on. Normally, of course, I would position him, but I have been doing this for so long. I usually am pretty close to having it correct. the first time I place it. So that's just a little bit of luck, you know. That doesn't look like much, does it? Oh, no, I'm pointing you in the wrong direction. That doesn't look like much, does it? That is our ant. You'll see that this is that's not a limb, that's an antenna that's reaching out. But you know, I like that shot right there, just like that, with him smiling at the camera. Do you see that? That's actually pretty good. Let's see if I got the lighting right. I know I didn't, because I didn't. A should be about 1/8. Okay, so I'm putting A on 1/8. That's on the left. This one. B is down below it. We'll start with that on 1/8 as well. Hang on, I had it on the wrong one. It needs to be on B. There we go. So B is on 1/8. C is on. Tell you what I'm going to do is put that on 1/8 as well to start, and then I'm going to. That's C there, and this is D, and I'm going to drop D down to 1/16. Like that. We should be good. Let's test it. Nice. Okay, too much light coming from the left-hand side from below. So I think B needs to be. Whoops, not D, B. I'm normally good at this, but you guys make me nervous. I'm only kidding. Let's drop it to 16th too. Let's see what that looks like. Better. Now it's actually C that's the problem. Much better. That's still a specular highlight in my book. It's a good looking face though. I think I'm going to keep going down on that. Let's try that. I'm happy now with the top. I'm still not happy with the bottom, which was B, I think. Now I'm just going 1/3 of a stop. I like it. Okay, now this isn't really about the setting up of the photograph, but we might as well do it while we're in here. I'm going to go 17 microns with the 5x Mitutoyo on the O'Toole setup with the ITL 200. And my start position. Okay, you see I brought it just a hair. I need to raise it up because that antenna is going to get cut off. Okay, so that's my close point. Now I'll go to my end position. I'm going to go, I think, until the second set of legs go out of focus. Oh, I just, let me see. I don't want this to be too long a stack. Okay, now that's got these two appendages in, and the only thing that's not in focus is the abdomen and the pin. So I'm going to leave it like that and turn off this, and hit. Then I'm going to turn off the light. Okay, that's good. What I'm of course looking for here is to make sure that the, the tip of that antenna is not in focus until at least the third shot. Yeah, this is going to be a cool, interesting looking shot. Only 139 images to go. That's good. I've got fresh batteries and we can go get the next bug ready. While we're waiting on the ant to finish up, I thought we could come through here and select our next guy. I was using this technique the last couple of days to shoot small stuff, so I have multiple pins already set up and ready to go with a bristle in place. This bristle might be too big for the next insect or the next creature we're going to go for, because I think I see a springtail in here and I want to try that. If you can get a springtail on the end of one of these, you have arrived and you won't have any trouble. So let's go over to the microscope. Let's look at what we have in our pot and decide what to do next. Okay guys, here we are at our pot. The big thing was an accidental bee that I didn't realize had flown into the net, or I would have got him out. I didn't realize that. There weren't many bees out. It was very cold and windy, but he's pretty, and I will definitely photograph him. So let's see what we've got in here. It's a bit dark. I'm sorry. I wish there was a... Well, I'll tell you what, that's not going to be very helpful. You're not going to be able to see that. Ah, that's got to help. I didn't realize I had that in here. Perfect. Okay, great. So let's get it in focus again. Now we can use a bit more magnification too. All right, so this is one of those Gwyneth Paltrow bugs right there. Oh dear, I need to sharpen my tweezers. That's way too big for what I'm looking for. So is that lynx spider. I think that's what it is. Yeah. All right. That underneath that ichneumons wing is what we're looking for. I don't know if you can see that. Let me look through the microscope. No, my mistake. That's the end of the antenna of the ichneumon. Let's see if I can find what I'm looking for here. That's a very, very interesting looking plant hopper. You should see him. I mean, he's right there. Let me move this light. He's attractive, lovely looking green eyes. Do you see that? But he also is, he's very large. I mean, he's not gigantic. None of these things are, but he's pretty big. This technique would be wasted on him. Let's find something smaller. Yeah, he's pretty though. Now remember, this is a clean container. Anything you see in here came in on the other specimens, like in the bee's hair, and fell off. It didn't. Oh, look at those feet on the bee. Isn't that cute? Only things I put in here should be in here. All right, I'll tell you what, let's pick one of these guys. Oh, I'm not sure what that tiny thing is. That's too big. I mean, too small for one of these paintbrush bristles. That will need an eyelash. Okay. This is what we pulled out of from under the microscope. Can you see that? That's what we're going to pin in order to get him pinned like that last thing. We're just going to need one of these bristles. I used to do this under the microscope, but it doesn't really add anything. I mean, you're going to be able to see the bristle when it falls off. There it is. There's two of them on the end of the scissors there. So I'll pick the nicest looking one. Then I will make sure I've got a good hold on it. I will stroke it through the glue, and then I will stick it to the end of this other fiber. Tell you what, I normally do this under the microscope. I'm having a hard time seeing. There we are. Okay. Did you see that? Now we have the pin going to the paintbrush fiber, going to the teeny weeny paintbrush fiber, and that is small. Let's look at it under the microscope real quick. So here is the new pin. You can see the pin going to the paintbrush fiber, going to the eyelash or whatever you use. This is from a fine detail, one hair from a fine detail brush, and that should be small enough for this guy. So let me grab him. Now, there's no way I'm grabbing him with the tweezers again. I will pick him up like that on the end of a paper point. That is going to dry just fine. Any other manipulation of that needs to be done under the microscope. So let's go back over there. All right, there he is. And we'll zoom in so we can see what we're dealing with here. Wow, pretty color. This thing is minuscule. It appears to be a hymenoptera of some kind. Oh, wow, the detail on the back of its thorax, little tiny hairs. There is a lot of surface tension. I forgot to mention that. By picking him up on the end of the tweezer, I'm going to move him to a dry part to soak up some more of the moisture. I'm just trying to lower him down until he touches and hopefully sticks. There we go. All right, so far he's intact. And he's got a piece of gossamer. I don't know if you can appreciate that. If I go scan up and down, you'll see the left appendage has what looks like a gossamer fiber. That's very common. If there was a single spider in your pot, we'll ignore it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue up the tip of the fiber. Now we're talking a little paintbrush fiber, and I am going to lay it down between this guy's legs on his abdomen. All right, you only really get one crack at this. So there's the fiber. Okay, it went lengthwise down that appendage, but it wasn't enough to hold. Let's try that again. Oh no, it was enough to hold. Okay. There he is mounted on that hair, the fine hair, by one of his legs. Now, this one's going to be a lot harder to show you what the mount looks like, but I think we can do it. I would never use a blower on this, but I will blow on it with my mouth wide open. It sounds pretty disgusting, but it puts warm air over it and it helps the glue set without blowing him off his perch. Let's go look at him under the microscope. See what we've got. There you go. That's not a bad, because it got him on the legs like that. His body is, his head is intact and his trunk's upright. It looks great. That gossamer is going to be a bit of a problem, but we'll photograph him just to see what we can get. And this is the beauty of this is I would never have picked a lot of the poses I end up with stuff this small, but doesn't matter if the picture turns out fantastic. Nobody needs to know that I didn't plan it that way. This is one of my trade secrets and why I'm such a wildly popular international figure in macro photography. Not. That gossamer's bothering me, but I'm going to resist the urge to reach in there and pull it off. I think we're at max magnification. I don't know for sure, but this guy, I think it's probably about 750 microns long. Our shot just finished. If you're still running, let's go. Okay. Now, I'm going to look just to this looks good. Okay, that ant did not move 1 angstrom during that shot. Okay, fantastic. So let's see if we can get this smallest of the small waspy things. And I'm going to do, even though this guy is 1/10 the size of the ant, it's the size of the ant's head maybe, I'm still going to go to the side and I'm going to position this right in the dead center of the objective, like I always do. I don't vary the routine. There's no reason to. And it should put it right in the middle of my viewfinder. At this size, it won't. Now, I'm shooting this on a 5x Mitutoyo, which is not ideal, but we don't have the time. I guarantee if I there it is. I guarantee that if I pause long enough to change the objective, this thing will shrivel up. And be useless. You got to admit, that's pretty amazing. Oh yeah. Look how strange that thing is. God, I'm not even sure what part of it I'm looking at. Okay, no worries. Please don't fall over. Beggars can't be choosers. With this technique, you take what you're given and you make something out of it. as opposed to spend all day. You can see how actually posing this guy would have just not been possible. We're probably going to have to cut the light down a bit. No, it's actually, there's that bit of gossamer. It's actually a piece of cotton thread. That's going to have to come out. Alrighty, so let's change our settings. Now, I know you must be looking at that and saying, that's too dark. It's not too dark. If that white fiber was any brighter, it would kill the photograph. You'll see. I might try and slap the 20 on and get a close-up of this guy's face. Okay, let's let it do its thing. So that's it. I'm going to show you this picture along with the first one right now. Don't be put off by this. Don't think this is something that, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's just a little bit of patience, a lot of practice, and a whole heaping mountain of good luck. But yeah, that was fun. Absolutely great. It was all done in one take. So everything that we did, both of those insects were done while I was supposed to be doing my tax return. So that's pretty good. Now I got to go do my tax return. Look what I found at the thrift shop last week. An actual draftsperson's T-square for $1.99. This is lovely. It's very light and it's very strong. Very happy with that. Okay, I will see you. Oh, I didn't do the Patreon update. That was the whole purpose for this. Okay, Patreon update. I spent the afternoon setting up a new part of the studio to use for a lot of my Patreon stuff, where I just talk. So I've got a more casual, relaxed, personal atmosphere than sitting behind a desk. I think that for next month, what I want to do is tilt shift photography, but don't hold me to that. I am going to extend this month by long enough for us to hit the comparison of the ITL and the Raynox tube lens. I have already done all the test shots for full frame, crop frame, 5, 10, and 20 times objectives. So we've got a lot to talk about. We have a live stream coming up this Saturday at 2 p.m. It's going to be a good one. There is a chance that Rick will drop by. I don't know that for certain, but we'll wait and see. He has expressed that he likes to participate in these things, but prefers to do so in multiple small episodes, which I totally agree with. I mean, I think that would be what we would want to. Certainly, it's the way I would want to do it. I'd rather drop in and chat for a bit and then come back another time rather than put on a big event. So that conversation has been had. Things that are in the works are the stereo photography. I just haven't had the time to get good enough to do it with you. I've got to get some practice time in, and it's kind of hard right now with everything that's going on, but I will be doing so. Tilt shift photography, I told you that's what I'm thinking about doing for next month. That should fill a whole month. That's a difficult skill to master. There are a lot more of you now than there were a week ago, and I'm very grateful for that. I think we have something like 25 or 30 new members, and I am going to recognize you all by name. You should all have got a thank you and a welcome letter from me. So I hope you did. If you have any questions or you have any recommendations or suggestions, you're also on my VIP list, which means my Patreon supporters, when they email me, that comes to me. That does not go to the other place that my emails are going. I won't say what it is, but I think you probably know. So yeah, you now have VIP status. So if you need me, reach out to me and I'll help you any way I can. And that's it. That's it for this week. If I think of anything else, I'll do another update. But for right now, that's where we are. Oh, I have a calendar and I'm working on merchandise for the Patreon crew. So yeah, more on that later. Okay, have a good week. I will see you on Saturday.